Autumn's a really important season in the garden. You want to get things in order before winter when it gets too cold for good growth. Here's a list of some tips for your autumn cleanup. Across the board, get any new planting done. The soil's still warm from summer, giving plants time to get their roots down before the heavy rains and dormancy of winter. Get stuck into pruning your woody shrubs, hedges and trees. They might not look their best when freshly done, but long-term, pruning promotes lush, healthy growth. For any big cuts, apply pruning sealant to guard against disease. And if you have removed disease stuff, make sure you dispose of it properly to stop reinfection. Autumn's the perfect time for a dose of cleanup and defoliation sprays. Use a copper or lime sulfur on your fruit and deciduous trees to encourage leaf fall, allowing the tree to conserve energy over winter for the next season's fruiting and growth. Lime sulfur also protects against scale and kills moss and lichen. On hardier trees, use a wire brush to help remove it. To catch any insect eggs or fungal spores which may lie dormant over winter and flare back up next season, use a combination of fungicide, pesticide and spraying oil. Almost all plants in your garden will benefit from a bit of an autumn spray, so talk to a team member in store for specific advice. Most lawns need a refresh after a long hot summer, and now's the ideal time for a resow. The mild temperature means the roots will have a chance to establish before winter chills the ground. Don't leave autumn leaves sitting around as they damage the grass. Start a compost pile and over time you'll get leaf mould to chuck back on the garden full of nutrients. Spike holes in established lawns for better aeration and drainage during the upcoming rains. Use weed and feed to get rid of broadleaf weeds and fertilise the grass. There's a really easy hose applicator to get the job done quickly. Dead patches could be lawn grubs eating the roots, but a dose of soil insect granules should sort them out. And good news, do your last mow for the season in May. Leave it about 5 centimetres as longer lawns will stay greener with less sunlight and resist weeds a bit better. Autumn's a great time to give your tools a general tidy up. They'll last longer and you won't be using them as much over winter. Let's start with a spade. So get yourself a sharpening stone and just run it along the tip of the blade. And I can see that's already starting to cause a bit of a bevel there. Now if your spade's got any little nicks or any rough bits in it, it's a good time to work them out as well. This one's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll just seal it with some WD-40, seal the blade, and just wipe the excess off. And that's good to go. Now we're going to sharpen some secateurs as well. Use a flat file and just run with the shape of the blade back and forth until you feel that it's getting sharp. Once you've done that, just put a drip onto the blade and into the mechanism. This will just help keep it lubricated. You can just wipe off any excess and that'll help prevent rust or anything else forming on the blade. Now most of your hand tools can be sharpened just like this, but for anything more complex, it might pay to check your manual. In your flower beds, remove any seasonal plants that have died off, roots and all. Mark where your summer perennials are so you don't accidentally dig them up over winter, or once they have died back, use a spade to divide them into smaller clumps, lift and plant in other spots. Now's also the perfect time to pop a few spring bulbs in. In your veggie patch, remove plants that are dead or have gone to seed, roots and all. And note where your tomatoes and potatoes were so you can rotate the location next season. Once you're all tidy, go ahead and plant some winter veggies. Or to prep the soil for spring planting, sow a green crop like lupin or mustard. Then, once grown, dig it through the soil to give it a big boost of nitrogen. Finally, do a good round of weeding before they go to seed and come back in force next spring. Then add a layer of mulch to garden beds. 5 to 8 centimetres is good, but avoid piling it around the base of plants. Over winter, mulch helps retain moisture and keeps the soil warm, protecting delicate plants from the cold. Autumn is a big season in the garden, but ticking off these jobs is well worth it. Get them done and you'll be ready for winter. Easy as. Make sure you subscribe to the Mitre YouTube channel for more great content, or click here to watch more now.